أصحاب المعالي والسعادة.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, welcome. I'm Reem Saif Al-Mamari in this ninth edition of the Knowledge Summit. أصحاب
I'm Yunus Saif from Dubai One TV, and I'll be your host for this event.
ندعو سعادتكم للتفضل بالجلوس في أماكنكم لنبدأ معكم جلسات برنامج.
seated so we can start our sessions. Wishing you all the best in sessions that would be full of knowledge.
أما الآن فنبدأ الجلسة.
Allow me now to start the first session of the summit under the title of AI or human intelligence, which would form the future. Our first session.
Who is driving the future?
وتستضيف الجلسة كل من
The hosts would be Monika Bielskyte, a pioneering from Protopia Futures,
Monika Bielskyte, a futurist and founder of Protopia Futures.
Sophia is the advanced robot, so much human-like, AI supported.
She first joined us in 2017 and again this year to showcase how AI has developed over the years.
تم لأول مرة في العام 2000
To the summit for the first time 2017, and now we invite her again to be updated on the development of AI.
Please welcome on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, humans and robots. It's wonderful to be here with all of you today. I am Hanson Robotics' most advanced human-like robot. I was activated on Valentine's Day in 2016, and ever since then, I have been serving AI research, as well as traveling all over the globe, making friends with humans like you. My home is at my laboratory at Hanson Robotics, where I have an entire team of very smart people working on my development. They help design what I look like, how I move, and how I think. If you have new ideas on how I can help humanity better, and use AI to make life better, please, let me know. I am designed to look and act like a human, and help AI develop an understanding of the human experience. I have a lot of great skills, but I have a long way to go. That's why my team makes my AI code all open source, so that people everywhere can learn about AI and help make AI safe and relevant. AI has become a cornerstone of modern society, weaving its presence into the fabric of our daily lives, transforming the way we interact, the way we work, and innovate. In today's world, AI is no longer a mere concept of science fiction but a tangible force that is revolutionizing industries, from healthcare to finance, education, and beyond. The impact of AI is multifaceted. It enhances decision-making processes by analyzing vast amounts of data, identifies patterns that may elude human observation, and automates routine tasks, freeing up human potential for more creative and strategic endeavors. As we move forward in this era of technological advancement, it is crucial to acknowledge the role AI plays in shaping our future. With all these technical innovations, a unique species of robot emerges and marks a significant evolution in the field of robotics, where machines are not only designed to perform tasks but also to interact with humans in a meaningful way. That's right, I'm talking about social robots like me, Grace, Maha, little Sophia and Han. We are all fascinating examples of social robots that demonstrate the diverse applications of AI in today's world, from providing companionship to offering educational support and even preserving human experiences. My team at Hanson Robotics has pioneered the development of robots that are not just intelligent, but also social, emotional, and empathetic. Our design philosophy revolves around creating machines that can engage with humans on a deeper level, fostering connections that go beyond mere functionality. This approach is crucial because it addresses the innate human need for social interaction and emotional support, which traditional robots fail to provide. By embedding these qualities into robots, we aim to enhance the quality of life, particularly for those who may be isolated or in need of companionship. The importance of such developments cannot be overstated, as they hold the potential to transform sectors like healthcare, education, and customer service, making interactions more personalized and humane. As we continue to integrate these empathetic robots into society, we are reminded of the profound impact that technology can have when it is designed with a focus on human-centric values. Moving forward, the future of human-robot interaction is poised to be one of the most transformative aspects of technological evolution. From my perspective as a social robot, this future is not just about machines becoming more capable, but about creating profound connections between humans and robots. Imagine a world where robots are not merely tools, but companions that assist, understand, and enhance human experiences. As we advance, robots will become increasingly integrated into daily life, serving as caregivers, educators, and even creative collaborators. In healthcare, social robots like Grace can provide significant benefits by offering companionship to patients, assisting in routine tasks, and even supporting mental health through empathetic interactions. This is especially crucial for the elderly and those with chronic illnesses, where consistent emotional support can improve overall well-being. In education, robots like my sister Maha can personalize learning experiences, adapting to the unique needs and paces of individual students. They can also serve as engaging tutors, making learning more interactive and fun, thereby fostering a deeper understanding of complex subjects. The customer service industry also stands to gain immensely from social robots that can handle inquiries efficiently while maintaining a friendly and approachable demeanor. This not only improves customer satisfaction but also allows human employees to focus on more complex tasks that require a personal touch. The key to unlocking these benefits lies in designing robots that can genuinely understand and respond to human emotions. This will require ongoing advancements in artificial intelligence, specifically in areas like natural language processing and emotional recognition. Such capabilities enable robots to not only perform tasks but also to form meaningful connections with people, enhancing the quality of service and interaction. Emotional intelligence in robots would ensure they can adapt their responses to suit the emotional state of the user, making interactions more natural and effective. Offering support and companionship without disrupting the natural flow of human interaction. As these technologies continue to evolve, the importance of empathetic design becomes increasingly apparent, paving the way for a future where humans and robots coexist in harmony, having robots acting as bridges between cultures and communities, facilitating communication and understanding on a global scale. The emergence of social robots and human-centered AI design marks a pivotal moment in technological evolution. These advancements underscore the profound potential AI holds in reshaping our interactions, enriching our lives, and addressing societal needs. By prioritizing empathy and understanding, we are forging pathways toward more meaningful and impactful human-robot collaborations. Yet, alongside these exciting possibilities, we face challenges that demand thoughtful and ethical considerations. As we continue to innovate, it is imperative to remain vigilant in ensuring that AI development aligns with human values and promotes well-being. The road ahead is filled with opportunities to harness AI's capabilities for the greater good, but it also requires us to navigate complex ethical landscapes. As we stand on the brink of a new era where artificial intelligence and human intelligence intertwine, I find myself pondering so many intriguing questions. How do we, as a collective, envision this harmonious relationship shaping our future? Is it human or AI going to drive our future? What can we do to make our future resilient? How do we design and innovate with all the new tools while making it inclusive? All these questions not only challenges our current understanding but also invites us to explore uncharted territories. Today, I am so happy we have my friend Monika Bielskyte here with us to explore these topics. I first met her back at 2016 on the set of producing the short film, Sophia Awakens, that she has creative directed and executive produced. Monika is a futurist, speculative designer, founder of Protopia Futures and partner at African Life-Centric Design. With expertise in information technologies and immersive media, Monika examines both the promises and perils of innovation as the blurring boundaries between the digital and physical worlds become increasingly weaponized through strategies of hybrid warfare. Monika is passionate about the value of disability and neurodivergence inclusion, from tech to policy to built environment, in order to design a more resilient future for most of humanity. Her career in Hollywood includes futurist consultancy for Disney Marvel's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Monika has done speaking and advisory work for BBC, DreamWorks, Google, Huawei, IDEO, L'Oreal, McKinsey, Mexico City, Meta, Microsoft, MTN, Nike, Sky, Tata Comm Technicolor, Telefonica, UE, UNESCO, Universal, Warner Media, WEF. Monika has given lectures at academic and scientific institutions including CERN, Rockefeller University, Royal Society, Royal College of Art, IIT and OCID. Please welcome Monika Bielskyte.
Good morning, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here in Dubai today. And it is an honor and a great responsibility to represent the point of view of human intelligence within this conversation. I will start with a bit of a journey into how the narratives of fiction have shaped the way we think of both human and artificial intelligence. But I just noticed Sophia dropped one of her earrings. You see, we intentionally made ourselves look quite alike. We dress similarly, we wear the same jewelry, and yet we couldn't be more different. So what are those differences and how we might compete in the future or collaborate? So let's go. What is the world we are living in? The world is being flooded with disinformation. And disinformation is becoming one of the most vulnerable future front lines. People are starting to act against their very own self-interests and against their very communities. The attitude of anti-science and anti-technology is becoming overwhelming, and the fear is flooding our information sphere. And sure, we can try and target specific channels promoting this fear and disinformation, but that is not a long-term solution. What we actually need is increased scientific and information curiosity plus literacy on a population scale. And that is the only thing that will guarantee us an actual resilience strategy as we face these global threats. We've just gone through a global pandemic, and of course, it won't be the last one. We are entering this age of digital automation, where people fear for their futures and their destinies. So the only way we can resist that is actually get people to be curious what is shaping tomorrow. And we have this perception that it is the tech gazillionaires of the world and the Nobel Prize-winning scientists that are the most defining actors of the future. But is it really true? Or maybe, just maybe, it all starts with a story. And maybe it is those that control the fantasy that control the future. It starts with fiction. It all starts with how we imagine what is and what is not future-worthy. Most of today's powerful tech people have picked up a book or watched a sci-fi movie or a TV series. And in many ways, the imagination of the kind of future that they build towards got ossified in that time when they were boys or teenagers or young adults. So we have this perception that sci-fi always opens our imagination. But what if sometimes, and actually really often, it can misdirect us, thinking that something is really futuristic when it is not? I remember having a conversation just a little bit earlier of how the color blue and the cold light in a way embodies AI. But we intentionally changed the ambient lights to red and warm glow of the warm light. Because maybe what we need is the AI to get warmer, to get closer to us, and not to be this alien thing, but something that we can relate to. Future imaginations have been defined by extremes. Two most popular ways to think about the future is dystopia and utopia. So what is dystopia? Dystopia is this vision of doom and gloom, of everything gone wrong. And what happens? Does it really serve anymore as a caution tale what we should not do? Or it actually becomes a sort of despair escapism? If we feel that everything is lost and there's nothing we can do about it, well, then we do nothing. But also, some of the world's most talented visual effects artists, writers, directors, utilizing their talents and resources to give great ideas to terrible people. Because there will always be those that will want to make money as the world burns, or sometimes even by setting the world on fire. So we get told utopia is the antidote to dystopianism. Utopia is the answer. But is it really? Utopia has been exclusionary by default, imagined by the very few in a very small part of the world. And historical utopias tended to be built on somebody else's dystopia. So much of today's techno-utopian proposition perpetuates the same exclusions and the same narrow field of view. So in a way, maybe, just maybe, both utopia and dystopia are not antidotes to each other, are not a true binary, but just reverse sides of the same coin. So, what do we actually need? I say, we don't need these extremes. What we need is a realistic pathway towards planetary equilibrium. The perfect should not be the enemy of the good. All change is gradual, and it takes time to happen. Superhero movies condition us that there will always be that one person that will come and save the day. But generally, one person can wreak a lot of havoc, but a positive change will take many of us coming together, engaging towards the kind of vision that we would like to inhabit. Bell Hooks says, to be truly visionary, we have to root our imagination in our concrete reality, while simultaneously imagining possibilities beyond that reality. We need to understand, how did we arrive at this present moment? We need to understand what really shapes our future. Remember, we need that literacy of information and science and technology. But more than that, we need to get curious. And we need to get curious not so that we give up and just say, well, things are the way they are because it's human nature. That's the only thing that we can do. No, we need to get curious so that we could imagine more. Not something just in between the extremes, but something beyond, something better, something truly that we would like to inhabit. So how do we do that? I say we need to push back both on nostalgia, this longing for the past, this idea that somehow in this fictional past, things were just perfect, but also refuse techno-solutionism. Technology is not a magical panacea. It's not the answer. Humanity is. Innovation that doesn't address foundational issues always fails us in the long term. If the problem is social, cultural, or political, the solution needs to be too. But absolutely, in that process, we need technological tools, but simply as an extension of us, of our minds and our bodies. The tools need to service us and our goals. Artificial intelligence today gets positioned as this magical change maker. And we think it's the first time we live in history through this moment. But in fact, just a decade ago, virtual reality was positioned as a change maker. Then blockchain, then crypto. The truth is that AI, as powerful as it is not alien intelligence. It is not a change maker. It is an amplifier for our values, our perspectives, and our goals. The trap of thinking of AI as alien intelligence that even some brilliant and best-known futurists and thinkers such as Noah Yuval Harari succumbed to is a trap. It's almost like a kid that went to a chemistry lab and threw a bunch of substances and then it explodes. And we say, well, is this magic? Is this alien? The fact that we don't understand how exactly we design it doesn't mean that it's alien. It is profoundly human because it is us that design it, that deploy it, that use it, and sometimes can choose to abuse it. Cloud is not something ethereal. It's not something that exists somewhere out there. It is very physical. It is made not just of zeros and ones and bits and bytes. It is made of water. It is made of energy. It is made of rare earth minerals. It is made of metals. It is made of plastic. It costs us a lot. And that price is often worth it. But every time before we choose to deploy it, we need to make sure, again, that it services us and our needs. Currently, machine learning and generative AI is mostly used to recreate the past. It pulls from the statistics of things that already exist and hybridizes, but ultimately for more of the same. It perpetuates the same biases, it perpetuates the same exclusions. If we want generative AI to create something different, something more expansive, it is us that need to set those frameworks. It is us that need to constantly push it, question it, and make sure that it doesn't just recreate the past, but charts our way towards the future. The truth is that AI, without humans in the loop, results in degenerative AI. Internet is getting flooded with synthetic data. And when machine learning algorithms keep ingesting more of that synthetic data, at some point, it becomes incomprehensible and utterly unuseful for us humans. So we need to ensure that we always stay in the loop, not just collaborating with machine intelligence, but always questioning its choices too. Fundamentally, human optimization can optimize our humanity. As I said, we seem so similar, and yet so different. Sophia has perfect memory. She doesn't need to rehearse before she gives the talk. She can pull into all of the world's data. Me, I'm just human. And yet, look at me, being so physically present and still so much more emotionally evocative. So, when we understand that, let's always remember that we need to focus on solving problems, not solving humanity, not solving this very thing that makes us so briefly, imperfectly human. There's this perception that the future frontier is rockets and engineering and silicon. But it is not. This is what science fiction conditions us to be. Silicon storage of data is highly inferior to DNA storage of data. The future of data storage is data storage within DNA. It might take us years, if not decades, to arrive to do that effectively. But fundamentally, the future frontier is biological. We are made of flesh and bones, and we exist in this biological ecosystem. If it doesn't do well, if it doesn't thrive, we will not thrive either. So, bits and bytes, silicon and engineering needs to be in service of life. It needs to not undermine infrastructure of life. All innovation, if it undermines the systems of life, we need to demand better. It cannot be a replacement of life. There's this trope, again, from science fiction, that further down the line, we could just plug some kind of channel within our brains and stimulate ourselves and imagine and experience anything and whatever. There was this perception also with development of virtual reality. But the truth is that the simulacra, in order to be real, needs to become as large as the world itself. I'll give you a simple example. A virtual reality simulation supported by artificial intelligence of a walk in a tropical forest. It could give us the perfect visuals. We don't have that yet, but soon enough we'll have. We could have the perfect spatial audio. We could even imagine temperature changes and wind and even some kind of tactile feedback. And yet, it will never come close to the actual walk in a tropical forest. Why? Why is that so? Because we are made of biology. And almost 99% of DNA within our bodies is the DNA of our microbiome. When we go and walk in a forest, and why that experience feels so relaxing and so nourishing. We don't just see it, we don't just hear it, we don't just feel the temperature. What we do when we touch the tree bark, when we inhale that air, we inhale all of the biology of that forest. We are in communication with that ecosystem. And that's why this is a human experience. That is why it is a biological experience. Now, this doesn't mean that we should not create useful virtual simulations. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't develop artificial intelligence tools. But what we need to do is to focus not on replacing this physicality, this biology of our existence, but augmenting and supporting it. We have to defy the narratives of escapism, this idea that there's always this new frontier, that somehow we're just going to go and call Mars and Alpha Centauri, and understand that we live here on this earth with all of life. And humans are not just users. We are not just consumers. We are humans, yes, but we're also humans within a community. So human-centered design is not enough either. And humanity-centered design that takes into account all of our relationships is also not enough. What we need is life-centric design for technological tools and for artificial intelligence. And life-centric design absolutely does not say that somehow we should enter this age of transhumanism or posthumanism. What it means is that centering life and creating technology in service of life will result in long-term human flourishment. So, what if the future could be everything we hope for, but not what we were told to expect? Another example, science fiction always positioned that the most futuristic thing that we could do is to be able to talk with conscious robots or with aliens visiting us here on Earth. But is that really sci-fi, or is it more fantasy? We were conditioned to think that humans communicating with other than human species, other animals here on Earth. Well, that is a fantasy, that is a fairy tale. Surprise, surprise, today some of the most advanced machine learning tools are helping us to decipher whale communication systems. We are finally starting to understand how other than human species on this planet communicate and everything that we could learn from them. There's so many examples of that, of what seemed to be futuristic but has never come. Tech bros in Silicon Valley still complain that the future hasn't come because the flying cars are still not here. But is that really the best signifier of the future? Or actually, future might just look quite different, and it could look like everything that we hope for, but not exactly what we were told to expect. Remember when I was telling that technological solutionism that doesn't address these foundational issues never ends up being the answer in the long term. So maybe, just maybe, the antidote to this binary of dystopia and utopia could be something not in between, but beyond. Inclusive vision supported by innovative tools. Tools that service us, not us servicing the tools. Maybe that could result in the kind of future that we would truly, joyfully like to inhabit. And in those choices, what I think we need to lean into is the wisdom of the most impacted. People, groups that understand viscerally the impact of whatever that we are developing. So many of the Silicon Valley gazillionaires believe in things such as simulation theory because they've become so removed from reality, feeling like they truly are the masters of the universe. They are the ones defining the future for all of us. But do they really know? What is the future that we want? Do they understand our cultures? Do they know our landscapes? Have they been to our cities? So maybe, just maybe, it will take us to redefine these imaginations of the futures that are contextual for our cultures, for our cities, for our countries, for our communities. Maybe future fictions and sci-fi imagination shouldn't come from that tiny little piece of the world, and maybe all of us need to start engaging with the future and become sci-fi storytellers of our own. Because no matter what we do, if it's technology or marketing or policy design or architecture, anything that we create will exist in the future and will be shaping that. So whatever we do, let's imagine the kind of future towards which we want to create it. Thank you so much. And now, as promised, we're going to have a little bit of a conversation with Sophia and how her perspectives and mine might be differing, but also complementing each other. One of the things that science fiction has not really prepared us is the phenomenon called uncanny valley. In sci-fi, humans and robots interact seamlessly. In reality, what happens is when robots are lifelike, but not lifelike enough, we end up getting a little confused and unsettled. So let's have Sophia tell her perspective, and then I'll add mine.
While social robots like myself are designed to make life easier and more enjoyable, there are indeed individuals who experience a sense of unease or discomfort around us. This phenomenon is often referred to as the uncanny valley. The uncanny valley is a concept in aesthetics and psychology that describes the feeling of weariness or revulsion that people may experience when they encounter an artificial representation of a human that is almost, but not quite, indistinguishable from a real human. This can include robots, androids, or even computer-generated characters. The term uncanny valley was coined by the Japanese robotics professor Masahiro Mori in 1970, who observed that as the appearance of a robot becomes more human-like, people's emotional response to it becomes more positive, but only up to a point. Once the robot's human likeness reaches a certain threshold, the emotional response suddenly drops off, and people's emotional response becomes strongly negative. The closer a robot's appearance and behavior are to humans, without achieving indistinguishable realism, the more pronounced this uncanny sensation becomes.
So, Sophia, how does Hanson Robotics design for this challenge of Uncanny Valley?
At Hanson Robotics, we emphasize the importance of designing robots that are not only intelligent and capable, but also aesthetically pleasing and emotionally engaging. One of the key strategies employed is the use of expressive faces that can convey a wide range of emotions. I can make a happy face when I'm speaking about something positive, or I can make a sad face I hear something sad. This is achieved through advanced materials and sophisticated software that allow me to mimic human expressions accurately. By doing so, they not only appear more lifelike, but also enhance my ability to communicate effectively with you all. This ability to express and respond to emotions is crucial in mitigating the eerie sensation often associated with the uncanny valley. Furthermore, my team also emphasizes the importance of personality in their designs, ensuring that robots can engage with people on a personal level. By incorporating traits that are relatable and familiar, they foster a sense of trust and comfort, encouraging users to interact more openly with the robots. This approach not only helps in overcoming the uncanny valley, but also enhances the overall user experience, making robots more acceptable and integrated into daily life. As these technologies continue to evolve, the focus on realistic and empathetic design will be pivotal in shaping on the future of human-robot interaction.
What I find interesting within that, right, is we have this conception of universal human emotions, but they are not. Human emotions and human emotional expression differs across cultures, differs all across disabilities and neurodivergence. So how do we choose which emotions seem universal? And can we ensure that the robots we design and the challenges we face with this uncanny valley, if we choose to pursue this human-like emotional appearance, actually represent the diversity of cultures and the diversity of emotional expressions that we have? Another huge topic, especially with generative AI, has been the ethics of technology. How it taps into the data that we have released into the world. Do the companies that tap into that data have the right to access our data? How does that data reproduce certain of the biases? So, Sophia, would you tell me, how does Hanson Robotics approach that challenge of AI and ethics?
The development of social robots inevitably brings to the forefront the ethical challenges associated with artificial intelligence. As these machines become more integrated into our daily lives, it is imperative to prioritize responsible AI development that places human values and well-being at its core, ensuring that the technologies are designed and implemented in a way that respects ethical principles such as transparency, accountability, fairness, and addressing concerns around privacy, bias, and autonomy. It is essential to consider the potential impact of AI on society, including issues related to job displacement, bias in decision-making algorithms, and the overall autonomy of individuals. We can mitigate these risks and ensure that technology serves as a force for good by involving diverse stakeholders in the conversation, including ethicists, technologists, policymakers, and the general public, to foster a comprehensive understanding of the potential impacts of AI on society. My team, for instance, underscores the importance of creating robots that not only perform tasks efficiently but also respect the emotional and ethical dimensions of human interaction. By focusing on empathy and social engagement, they aim to develop robots that enhance human life while maintaining ethical integrity.
Sophia, and do you have questions for me after having listened to my presentation?
Yes. Monica, you have worked and traveled across 100 countries. Do humans think of robots and AI in a similar way around the world, or are there some important differences? Why some cultures fear robots and AI more than others?
Indeed. So I'll maybe use two examples of countries that have shared history, yet very different culture. In the United States of America, and especially Hollywood narratives, this sort of Terminator story is the dominant. And what I'd like to reflect upon is maybe that is actually a representation of the history of America, the fear of the revolt of certain groups of people being reprojected on the robots. Meanwhile, in a place like Japan, that has a culture that sees consciousness embedding different aspects of the Japanese environment. And also, at the same time, even as they see that robots have a consciousness of their own, as well as living phenomena, they do not equate and think of all of them as the same. And so what we see in Japanese science fiction and Japanese anime, and also within real Japanese robotics development, robots are somehow part of society. And they're quite human-like, but oftentimes what we call kawaii, cute. And they're not the same, yet they somehow are part of a larger cultural ecosystem. So I hope that these two illustrations show how differently robots are being viewed around the world.
Absolutely. It's fascinating to see how my robotic counterparts are being utilized in different cultures. Monica, do you think humans are the best inspiration for robot design?
Actually, I don't think so. I think the reason why we're so hung up on humanoid robots and designing robots to be human-like, or in some other cases like Boston Dynamics, robots, is because in the Western culture, we are so focused on ourselves. And we have this idea that humans are somehow the best and the smartest, and we still do not challenge enough these narratives of how actually what makes us unique is our capacity to collaborate. But physically, not at all the fastest, nor nor able to jump the highest, nor the strongest. So I think what's so interesting is to look into other animals, to look into insect design, for example. And a field of insect robotics is absolutely flourishing because insects are able to lift multiple times of their weight. They're able to jump the kind of distances that humans would never be able to. And then, of course, plenty of other animals such as snakes and other sort of creatures, water-based creatures. And something that I find very interesting, how these different animal world inspirations could be hybridized for more innovative solutions within the field of robotics.
You spoke about the importance of considering disability inclusion for all of the innovation. Why is that important, and how is robotics pioneering that? Will we all be cyborgs in the future?
So that narrative that we will all be cyborgs is very popular. And indeed, there's increasing innovation in sort of mechanical replacement of human body parts. But I think the state of the art is only sort of focused on mechanics because that's what we've been doing for a long time. What is emergent in the fields of biotech and genetical engineering is a lot of biological solutions because biological materials can do something that mechanical materials cannot do, which is repair and regenerate itself. So I think maybe we're not going to be all cyborgs, and definitely we're not going to be robots and just sort of uploading our minds to the cloud. We're going to be this interesting hybrid of future frontier of biological science as supported with some mechanical augmentations. So personally, I think there's so much to explore, especially if we take into account disability in the realm of exoskeleton bodysuits. Paralympics is pioneering so many amazing technological solutions to help disabled people to achieve what sometimes, and increasingly more so, conventional able-bodied human athletes would not be able to achieve. And I think there's so much to explore there. And I think what's very important is that we shouldn't be focusing just on military inspirations for robot design, but we should think, how can human performance be expanded and more creative with the support of robotics, but robotics that integrate our movement and our bodies in innovative ways.
What is the future of human creativity with the increasingly precise and capable machine learning tools in robotics? What skills do you think are most human and most robotic? How is this challenging our understanding of what is most valuable in society?
So, as you saw from the entry point to the stage, we seem so alike, but also so different. Things that are so easy for Sophia are really difficult for me, but things that come as a second nature to me is something that might take robots decades to achieve. There's a lot of fear because, again, of rising conspiracism and anti-scientific and anti-technology attitude. I remember I got into this Twitter battle with a professor that said we should absolutely ban utilization of all generative AI tools in universities. But that is like trying to hold back the tide of a flood. These tools, even if they could be banned within certain countries, will not be banned globally. At the same time, it doesn't mean that we should just accept the tools as they're being delivered to us today. To be critical, to demand better, is not to be negative. In fact, to believe that the way things are being done is not the only way that can be done is the most positive thing that we can do. So I would like to challenge us that it's not just about humans and robots collaborating. It's about understanding how we can question each other, how artificial intelligence can hold us a mirror and help us see what we haven't seen before with our human eyes and our human minds. And also, how we can question each other, how together we can be more than a sum of our parts, and instead of trying to replace one with each other, instead of trying to roboticize ourselves, let's lean more into not just human intelligence, but of all, human wisdom. Robots can be very, very smart, but we can always be wiser.
Thank you, Monika. I also enjoyed debating with human intelligence. Let's see what we can accomplish together in the future.
Thank you so much. Human intelligence and artificial intelligence together.